This is the Service Hero Show, 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter. I am your host today. Today, we will once again, we will be sharing a story that is going to inspire you. Today, yes, it is TGIF. Let's do this. My guest will be here in just a moment. We were just doing a sound check, and then for some reason, as things happen, she came off the line, and she should be back any moment. Brittany, let me just tell you about Brittany. Brittany is someone that I chose as a service hero. I cannot wait for her to get into the studio again, because what she is doing has been inspiring me, actually, to be honest with you. And her story is one that my buddies need to hear. So I'm really hoping that my buddies are going to be showing up. In fact, Rachel, if you want to just even go into our closed group and say, okay, everybody show up. Service Heroes is on. It's going to be an inspiring story. Rachel is one of our ambassadors of the chat. Just so I'm so happy, Rachel, that you are here with us today. It is Friday, and TGIF to you. My guest should be here at any moment. Again, she was in the studio, and then she was doing a sound check. And as things happen, she's going to be back in a moment. And hello there. Hey, Skip Thomas. Glad that you're here with us. I want to say that I am so excited about the things that we're working on right now. We've got some pretty exciting stuff going on. And Sherry McQueen, one of our senior ambassadors for Chemo Buddies for Life. And yes, Skip is one of our board members. He's over digital platforms. So very glad that he's with us. We have Helene Wilson. Helene, love you. She is our very first ambassador of the chat that we've ever had. Rachel Johnson is also one of our ambassadors of the chat. What does that mean? Well, we're going to get into that today. We will, with our service hero. Let me make sure everything is well, because hopefully she can get in here in just a moment. Don't know what happened. Okay. You need to back out just a second. You need to back out and come back in. Out. Reboot. This is what you do to get things going, guys. Come back in. And sometimes we have to troubleshoot online, because I want to make sure to be going live, because I have only a short window where I can do that. And the way that we have it now with the streaming that we're doing with these other groups, I will lose our connection and we won't be able to stream to them. And they were worried about that yesterday because of what I had to do. Reboot and come back in. Okay, so let's let her do that. See who else is here. A skunk Holler Award winner. Yes, and actually won. I'll get it right. An Emmy. Starts with an E. The name that I had a few last names, guys. And it's not all because of what you may think. Just leave it at that. The name that I graduated from high school with, my second last name, started with the same letter. An Emmy award-winning documentary filmmaker. That, hey, we need to talk. We got some stuff. I am so fired up, guys. I've been getting up, and now I'm on day 5 on some of my goals, day 4 on others, and I am rocking it, moving forward, making it happen, feeling good about it, the energy that is taking place. And yeah, I did take a nap yesterday. some are going to say, what does that have anything to do with the Service Hero Show? Well, we've been talking a lot in the last 24, 48, 72 hours in all the different social media platforms that I'm involved in about moving forward during this period of time that we're in. We've got a lot going on. There's a lot of shift taking place, a lot of pivots that many are making, and some people are standing their ground and standing up for what it is that they believe in. I know that. I have some dear friends that are doing that right now, preparing for something big that's going to be happening. And I am doing it too. I've made a stand, guys. I've made a decision. I've been talking with my advisors and my mentors, and I've made a decision. I'm going to publicly announce it here soon. So many exciting things taking place. We are preparing for the Tour of Love. That is something Service Heroes is getting behind, that Chemo Buddies for Life actually helped to create, and many, many, many other groups now are coming to align themselves with it. And I'm wondering, where is our service hero? I know that she was here just a little bit ago. She'll be here. She'll be here. Let's see. How was Susie? For those of you that are wondering who Susie is, the walk that I take every morning now, and I've been going live during it because there's so much going on, is one of the bunnies that lives in the area that I live. There's quite a few of them. I've got at least 20 to 30 bunnies that live on a particular hill. And Susie is one of them that Helene is now. She's named. I am a Toad Suck Arkansas celebrity. Don't underestimate you. I love it. I love it. It's so good to have humor. And on a Friday afternoon, isn't that exactly what many of us need? We need it for our souls. We need it for our what it is, our makeup, our DNA, humor and laughter. Have you had your daily dose of laughter today? We ask each other that within our organization, within the group that I run and help. All of the people that are here are also leadership within that group and groups, if you would say now that there are many that are starting to come together. Helene is saying, Tamara, did you find my purple pen when you were walking today? Mm-mm. No, but I do have this, my dear. Oh, yay. I do have this one. So I do have one. All right, we have our service hero for the day. Let me acknowledge the fact that Brittany is now coming in, and I am going to be bragging about this woman. Thank you for coming and being with us today, Brittany. You are an absolutely beautiful soul.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I am very excited to be sharing your story today. I really am, and what you're doing for so many people. And I honor you as the service hero that I nominated you to be, because you are one of the ones that I have nominated. And so I wanted that to be very clear to everybody that's here. We have quite a few of our buddies that have showed up, and many of them are ambassadors within our organization of Chemo Buddies for Life and the nonprofit that I run. And we do believe in healing through connections.
Oh, okay.
And you are a woman whose story is one that I called them out. I actually said, all hands on deck today. You need to be here for Brittany's story. You have quite a story, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, and you say that with a huge smile, and I love it. I love that. Everybody, you see it? It's beautiful, beautiful woman, beautiful smile, and you have overcome things that a lot of people say they're speaking. And there we go.
Okay.
The
I was like, what happened?
the show kind of just needed to be rebooted and reloaded too. There's a lot going on in the frequencies of the world right now, and
There is. Oh my goodness.
and it's a very good thing, isn't it?
Hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of change taking place, a lot of people that are in pain. I don't want to diminish that in any which way. However, you are one that I love it. I mean, you are one that's kind of like one of those, if you will, I don't want to say it wrong, because we do have some people that we stream out on an international level, and some of them are a little family friendly. They're the family friendly crowd, you know? So I want to be respectful of them. However, with that said, you're all about taking names and kicking, you know what, out, you know, and making things happen, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh. And, but that wasn't always the case, was it?
Oh goodness, no.
Oh, goodness, no. You know, let's
I
go
mean,
there.
it was one of those things where it's like you would come back, like you would try and you would try for so long, and sometimes you'd just get so tired trying, and then you'd give up for a while, and then you'd come back in and you'd try and you try and try for a while, and then you'd give up for a while. And like, I don't know if anyone else can relate to that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
sometimes it gets super tough, and it's like those ebbs and flows that you sometimes go through in life. And it it was really weird. I had two people message me before I was even awake yesterday asking me about motivation. They're like, what's like, one person asked me, like, what are those two videos that you sent me like forever ago about motivation? And then I had someone else say, like, in this past like 2 years you've changed your life so much, and you're just such a different woman. And like, is it one thing that you changed, or is it multiple things? Like, what do you do on a daily basis? And I was kind of like, why did I have two different people ask me this today? This is weird.
Well, you know, in my way of thinking, Brittany, I don't believe it is weird, because when people are ready for a message, that person shows up. And I believe that we are in such an amazing period of time right now where things are just working on hyperdrive. Even the whole idea of, you know, it being difficult even to sometimes get something as simple as a show going now, where we used to just push a button and like everything just worked and clicked, and now it's a little bit, okay, what's going on? Yet that is where things are so heightened right now, you know, that the energy is just like buzzing, and you can feel it, right?
I literally put headphones in and everything crashed. Like, I
Right.
put my headphones in and the show shut down. Like,
And what does that say to us right now? It's, to me, you know what it says to me is that it's a magical time, you know, that there is so much opportunity in this frequency. There's so much energy that if we can just say, all right, I'm going to take a bit of that energy and I'm going to pivot. I'm going to start moving in this direction, because I know I can get through this. I can heal through this. I can get onto the other side with this. I can be motivated like those two
mhm,
people. I can be motivated now because I'm feeling something. I'm feeling something, the you know, whatever it may be, whatever they may be feeling. And sometimes pain will do that to us. Sometimes it is because there's an extra, you know, buzz in the air, whatever it may be, whatever those reasons, it's that time where we can actually say, okay, now I'm ready to pivot. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move forward. And your story is one that you for a while were kind of in a place, right? You had relationships that were failing, you had health issues, you made some choices that were not healthy, and then you had the doctors telling you had issues that you needed to deal with. Let's go there for a little bit, because I really understand that our particular group that watches this show and shows up, they're going to say, oh wow, she's so much like me.
mhm.
I you know, So why don't we share that right now?
Yeah, so I mean, when okay, so August 2004, I was 13 years old and I was playing soccer. And I remember this moment. I was just getting ready to go to I live in Canada, so we call it provinces, not states. And we were just getting ready to go to a provincial tournament. And I remember everything going black. And, I was like, it was the day before we were training. And I just didn't know what was going on. And I just ended up having this excruciating headache and didn't know what was happening and went to bed, woke up, and everything was fine. And between August and December, my health declined like very quickly. I went from a point of, within weeks to days of feeling not being able, like I was sick. I would sleep for 20 hours a day. I was picking stuff up that was a foot away from me, and I had this double vision. I was throwing up constantly, and I've seen multiple doctors, and I was told that I had migraines, and it was finally a I went to the eye doctor, and they told me, my optic nerves were inflamed, and it was kind of like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
And I went to the ophthalmologist, and they said, like, your optic nerves are chalk white. And he said, I've never seen anything like this before. And I was immediately sent to a hospital an hour away and told that I had a brain tumor. I had two, and they were it was the size of a tennis ball. So one of them was the size of a tennis ball, and the other was the size of a golf ball. And it was actually funny because um, I now, by trade, um, am an X-ray technician, and I had like the images up one day on one of the monitors at work because we were looking at them. And I had one of our radiologists walk by, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, who's that? That's not good." And he's like, "I don't know if that person's gonna make it." And we all started laughing, and I said, "That's me." And it so it was like from here, and my scar extends all the way around to the back of my head. And that I went for surgery December 1st. So it was September, October, November, so within 4 months. And they said it was probably growing from the time I was a child, but just from the pressure, it happened so quickly. So, that was a moment as a kid, that I decided that I really wanted to give back. And um I really wanted to be able to that was when I decided, like, I wanted to become an X-ray technician and go and like do something like CT, because it was like I wanted to give back to the people who helped me
Right.
and made a difference in my life. And so I've always had that like mentality of wanting to be able to give back. And I mean, since then, I've transformed my life even more and wanted to grow and expand that more to help more people, at a point of getting them before they get to that point. But that's kind of where it all started. And I mean, I when you and I were talking, I never talked about this, but I've also had cervical cancer as well.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I mean, like, with my health journey, it's been an experience for sure. And yeah, I spent 10 years after that. Well, yeah, 12 years being misdiagnosed with seizures. Um, and like that was one of the things that I talked about, like where I would go in and I'd have these migraines, I call them,
Yeah.
because, the whole left side of my body would go completely numb, and I would spend, thank you. I would spend like, 20 hours just experiencing this whole, um, it would like completely deplete me, and it would completely wipe me out for a day. And with people who it's chemo, right? You said
Mhm.
my sister's
Well,
actually.
within the nonprofit, it actually is, we're all about buddies that are healing together, and it doesn't matter what type of treatment they decide to go through.
Okay.
It's the patient and then those people that love and support them. So it's all about the community piece of it. And so some choose traditional, some choose alternative, and some are doing a combination of both, adjunctive. So we
Hmm.
have a little bit of everything, and we have people throughout the world that because different areas of the world have different treatment opportunities for them available, that it's not standardized, that you think it is
Hmm.
somewhat standardized and it's supposed to be. However, not everybody has the same options,
Right.
in some areas of the world that others do. So just a little bit of that there, guys. We someday we're really, but the good news here is that we have the healing through connections, and that
For sure.
we're talking about it, and we're there for each other, and we're sharing a lot of that humor and hope, heart, hugs, and love, because I'm sure that's what helped you to get through it, because that had to have been hard as a kid. And then, oh yeah, migraines, oh yeah, this, oh yeah. And wasn't there a time that possibly you're thinking, all right, either they're all crazy or I'm going crazy?
100%. And I seen 6 different neurologists. Because like I said, I would go through this phase where it would be like, okay, I guess I just have to live this way. And then I would be like, I can't live this way. Like, this is not good. And then I'd go back and I would try again until someone finally listened, and just asked the right question. And I started getting answers. And, it made such an impact on our whole family. My sister went on to be a pediatric nurse, and now the reason I asked was because now she's actually a chemo nurse.
Oh,
Um,
they're the best, the
so it
very
really,
best.
So it really did go on to impact even just our entire family. And, you made such a good point. And when it comes to connections, um, it's just something you need other people. You can't do it alone. And I that's exactly what I told one of my friends yesterday. I said the biggest part with what has made me the person I am today is that, I have a morning ritual. Those days that I feel like I can't go on, I reach out to people and I talk to them. Like, I don't do it alone. I don't try to do it alone. I admit defeat some days, and like, that's okay. It's okay to feel not your best some days. Like, that is 100% okay. And I think the biggest thing is being able to, like, shows like this is so, so important because we're going out there and we're talking about it, because some people think it's not okay to talk about it. And we need to, because then people feel like they're not alone.
Right, right. And so it was diagnosed, it was found, you went, and thank goodness that the eye doctors saw what they saw. They send you to the hospital, and you have the surgery, you have the scar. Now, this is one thing I don't know about you. Did they get it all then? Did you have to go through, it sounds like you did have to go through traditional treatment. And how long did you have to do that?
So I didn't actually have to go through chemo or anything like that.
Okay.
The type of tumors that it was there was about yes, a chocolate day.
Yeah, that's part of our organization. What we talk about is humor, hope, heart, chocolate days. Those are the days that, okay, we just want to close the curtains, get the chocolate out, eat it, whatever it may be, or figuratively, and then the next day get back up and get going again. That we can
Yeah.
have our little days of calling upon our buddies and saying, okay, I'm having a rough time. I'm calling a chocolate day today. And and yes, and it makes us all kind of giggle, yet we need them, and you're talking about it right here. So
Yeah.
you didn't have to go through traditional chemotherapy. You did have to have surgery. What else?
Yeah, so there was a little piece left behind. It was like the doctor told me, she's like, it's about the size of a pen tip. She said it came too close to like too many nerves, and she said I didn't want you to like bleed out or anything like that, and possibly cause like future like any sort of droop or anything like that. So um and they told me that the kind of tumor that it was, if they did do any sort of chemo or anything like that, it would potentially cause it to grow. And so I did go to the cancer center, and I did go to those kinds of like go for like go to people and that kind of stuff, but I didn't actually end up having to receive any treatment. I am on daily medication now since being like diagnosed with epilepsy due to my seizures and due to the brain tumor, but they were simple partial seizures, so I knew they were happening, but nobody else did.
Okay, all right.
Hmm.
So how does it feel when you know it's happening and no one else can see it? How does that make you feel?
Um, I would be talking to someone and completely lose. I would forget what we were talking about, and people would say, "Well, I do that sometimes," and I would say, "No, it's gone. It ain't coming back." And I was what they call a Greystone scholar. So when I was in
Oh wow.
high school going into university, I had a 96 average. I had scholarships, that kind of thing. And when so through high school and then now going into university, it was as if my brain functionality was deteriorating,
Oh.
and I went from being able to be the first one finishing tests to all of a sudden running out of time. And I would read questions over and over and over and know that I knew the answer, but it was as if my brain couldn't comprehend it. And it took me back to when I had my brain tumor. And I remember sitting in class. This was before my brain tumor was removed. And I remember my friend sitting in front of me, and the teacher had asked me a question. And she said, "What's the answer?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know what it says." And yeah, for sure. And she had said, like, "What's the answer, Brittany?" And I said, "I don't know what it says." And she said, "Well, it's there in the book." And I said, "I don't know what it says." And she said to my friend Lori, she said, "Show her." And she put her fingers between the word. And I looked at her and I said, I don't know what it says. And the word was red, like the color red. And I knew that, like, I knew I recognized the word, but I couldn't get it from here to here. Like, there was some sort of misconnection.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up leaving university. And then when I went to college, after I got into school to be get into X-ray, I struggled so much. I mean, I still ended up passing, and it's a very difficult course, but not with the marks that I'm used to getting. And I felt stupid. There's no other way to like describe it. I
Right.
felt stupid.
Mm. You know, thank you for being so real and explaining it in such a way, because I know that there, and even Helene said it right here, and I can relate to it too, is that that's what we
Hmm.
can call, what she calls, what I will say we call chemo brain. And I am also a cancer survivor. I did go through traditional treatment for my cancer, chose to. And so I did go through chemotherapy. I went through 6 rounds, then a year of immunotherapy and multiple surgeries. And to this day, people joke with me. However, the way we learn, and I don't know if you do the same thing, but you learn how to live your new normal life. And so I
Hmm.
have whiteboards everywhere. I have a pool table that when I'm working on a project, I will take sheets of paper, write everything out, and I'll put it out like most people would put in a computer and do some kind of a mind mapping kind of thing. And and you'll probably get this. I don't necessarily always say, oh, I don't really do my mapping in the computer, because you need to understand, I need to go and look at it
And
differently.
write it
If
down.
it goes into the computer, it goes away sometimes. Not that I don't know it's there, but I need to be able to see it while I'm processing. And I still can go into areas of my brain that I've always had, but it's like a different door is taking place. It's
Mhm.
like it's through a different pathway. And now I've learned how to deal with it. It's my new normal life. I've been doing it over 5 years now, and so I don't think much of it. However, we need to make those accommodations for ourselves, and have what you are now helping others to do. Have an environment where you can say, hey, it's okay. You're safe. You're good. You can talk about this. You are in a good place, because we all have our stuff. We have something, all of us,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even for me, I have one there, I have one there, I have one over there. I
Mhm.
have boards all over the place.
Right, right. And I'll tell you this, there's been times when I've traveled a lot in my car. I travel with them
Yeah, I
sometimes.
just had I just had that one with me the other day.
Oh, there you go. Well, see, we guys, you're understanding a little bit more when I talk about these, because when and I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so honored to be sharing who you are and what you're doing, because now you have taken this and you are helping so many through and I'm going to let you talk about it. I'm going to let you say it, because this is your deal, and I just love it, because you are like, yes, we've got, and I love this too. It's like the whatever, how'd you put it, the real one or something like this, that you are the original pineapple tribe, and that, make life your, what. Yes, I'm going to say it but that way, but you can say it the way you want. You are my guest and the honoree today. So let's talk about this. What really inspired you to say, okay, I'm at a place now where I know that there are others that need me, and that I will be able to give them an environment, a tribe that they're going to say, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, so I'd kind of mentioned to you, like, those crappy relationships I was in, and um I was really just living for everyone else. I really had, we had that like, and I don't knock anybody's lifestyle when I say this, but for myself, I had what I felt was this cookie cutter lifestyle of, the career that I wanted, that I wanted at the time. And well, actually, so I'll just back up a bit. When when I graduated from school, to be an X-ray tech, I hit this wall as soon as I graduated, and I thought, now what? And I just instantly, it was like, I want more. I want to help more people. And it, I actually tried to kill myself 3 times. Um, because I hit this wall because I had just been diagnosed with the seizures, and I was in this relationship where it wasn't moving forward. And so it was like every area of my life I felt like I had no control over. And I'm just learning to be a geek. And see, that's the thing is, so with this group, like I geek out on content marketing. That's my thing. That's my superpower. Everybody has one.
Mhm.
And your niche is, you've because you've experienced what you have, this is your niche now. This is your superpower, talking about it, and we all have it. And some people get lost in like wanting to help people, and they don't know what their niche is. So for me, that's my superpower, is helping people find that. And so that's why I started the Pineapple Tribe. But so what ended up happening was I this relationship. Yes. Um so I ended up going through this relationship, and it ended up ending, and I felt so broken because it ended up in infidelity. And I finally got to this point that I just felt like enough was enough. In previous relationships, I had been raped, I was kidnapped, and I, it wasn't those things that pushed me to change. It was the point that I decided I loved myself and I was enough. That's what changed my life. It was that moment that I decided I was enough. That's what changed my life. And I wanted that for other women. And I said to myself, if there is one thing I can do, and if I can help one woman make sure that she doesn't, like, she gets out of things sooner, that she help, like, I can help her find her path sooner, then my pain and my experience was worth it for me. And so what ended up happening was I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I just remember like looking up and thinking to myself, like, it's time to get out of the cookie cutter lifestyle of the career, the vehicles, the house, the everything that it was in, and it's time to follow my passion. And I went after it. And it actually, it started with creating a blog. That's how it started.
Wow.
It started with creating my blog, Make Life Your Bitch. And
You
and
know,
that's how
and you got to admit, that's an awesome, that catches people's attention, right?
and I just started to write about my experience. And um so that picture with my Wonder Woman shirt, that was the day that I found out the second time that I was like that I didn't have cervical cancer anymore. That I wasn't, yeah, that I wasn't going to have to go through it anymore. Like they weren't going to cut out any more pieces of my body. And that's another thing. People don't like to talk about that. People don't like to talk about that kind of cancer. People are afraid of it. And I had a lot of backlash from a few people. Well, from a few people, and those were the ones like I had over 300 people or something like that, like reach out to me and say like, thank you for so much for talking about it. And I had a moment where two people called me down for it, for talking about it.
Oh,
And I
mm-hmm.
took those ones to heart, and it was just like, Brittany, what are you doing? And I had to take a step back and look at it all and be like, hey, like we're not taking this on. It's
Right.
it's time to not take that on. We're helping, like we're here to help people. And yeah, and that other thing was I was volunteering at Tony Robbins in New York.
I love,
To
I
set your
love
soul on fire.
that. I love that. I've seen so many pictures in front of that image, I have never seen one like that before. I'm like, yes, girl, go.
And
Good.
the thing is I was so afraid to do that. Like we tried so many pictures like that. And like my friend who I met there, he just kept telling me, he's like, Brittany, just keep going. And I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna fall over. And like if you look at me, like I'm bent back, like there was no way I was falling over. And I was like, I feel like I'm gonna fall over. Like
You know what? But this again is like, show up to your life. Show up. Be willing to be, if you're bent and you have that small back that's bent a bit, so flipping what? You are there in that moment. You are setting your soul on fire. Yes, in that, there at the iconic Tony Robbins Firewalker, in front of that image that I've seen so many different combos, never one like this. And I'm like, go, girl. I just absolutely, again, 100% adoring everything that you are doing, because what you are doing is that you're saying, okay, yeah, I've had stuff cut out of me. I have too, guys. You had, you know, brain matter cut, and you had tumor taken out of your brain. I've had a double mastectomy, yes, and I have had it rebuilt. I've had the areas within my private parts of the, my belly and areas there, taken out, yes, called a hysterectomy, and we have to sometimes just be, because we had this discussion in our closed group, which we have one, and anybody that has any kind of a group that they talk about this kind of stuff, they need to be able to have a safe place. And we were talking about how in some cultures still that cancer is cancer. A tumor is not meant to stay in our body. Wherever those cells are, wherever they have gone and attacked someone's body, it is a body part. It's not like, oh, okay, well, that's all right. That person has this kind of cancer. That's acceptable to talk about. But, oh my goodness, this one has that kind of cancer. No, we don't talk about that because it's in that area. No, guys, I love it that, if someone's had to have something cut out of them, they had to have something cut out of them. If someone has had cancer, it is cancer. Wherever it is, if someone is suffering from whatever it may be, it is something that we can get through, because it might be that they're suffering today, but tomorrow and after, they say it, and there's something to being free, right? To be able to say it. There's something in saying, okay, I'm dealing with this right now, but this isn't going to define me. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to heal through this. I am going on. And that's what you are doing for so many. It's primarily women, right? Do you have that in your group?
No. So I have worked with men, and when, yeah, and flip it for sure. And so the thing is like I started the blog, and the blog started after that photo of me in the Wonder Woman shirt. It was like immediately I was like, "Kate, this is happening." So, I started it, and what ended up happening was within a month, I had it going, and I was asked to start a coaching business. And so the blog got put on hold. It's still there, but now it's going through some revamping, and like some branding and that kind of stuff because of the Pineapple Tribe. And I took a coaching course, and then I got stuck in this in my head, and I tried to decide, like, who do I want to help? I've had so many different areas of my life, like, that I've gone through. Who do I want to help? What kind of people do I want to help? And amidst that journey of so much confusion, that and like spending thousands and thousands of dollars of trying to figure out a niche, I was coaching people along the way, and I kept wanting to help them with their businesses, and kept wanting to help them um, grow their business and figure out their own niche and their branding online and how to market it. And I'm like, that's my superpower. Holy
Yeah.
man, like that's what I've been doing all along.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did, and that's how the Pineapple Tribe started. The Pineapple Tribe, the pineapple thing for me is something that pineapples in the 17 or 1800s started. They were known for wealth and hospitality, and so they were a symbol of that. And so you see online all the time, stand tall, wear a crown, you were a pineapple, that kind of stuff. And so when I see that, like that's what I see. And people see pineapples all the time. I get pictures of it all the time. And exactly, like you really don't know what anyone is facing. You really don't, like with that quote, you really just don't know what other people are going through. And it's just sometimes we just need to be kind to each other. I know I just sidetracked there, but that
Well,
thing
you
came
know
up.
what? That couldn't be more appropriate for today, because that's why I've been dating these shows, Brittany, because we need to really be focused in on that. And that was one of the reasons I wanted you on today, because we do need to be kind to each other. We need to see the what each of us has to offer, and then feel as though we can find our our, as you say, tribe, we can find our community, we can find those that we want to join with, and we can make our lives whatever we want to make it. And you have a huge amount of people that are following you. You have a very loyal group of followers, don't you?
Well, and like the thing is, the Pineapple Tribe just started. There's only about 80 women in there, but I had like in the group, but I had someone ask me the other day. They said, "Brittany, like why pineapples? Like, are you sure that like is that a thing?" They're like, "I'm playing." Like it was one of my coaches. They said, "I'm playing devil's advocate. Like, how is that a thing?" And I said, and I actually asked the women in the group today. I said, "What about the name the Pineapple Tribe speaks to you?" And the reality is that it's it's a certain type of woman that is drawn to it. It's not for everyone. And I'll be honest, I screen every woman who goes through there. I don't like negative people going through there. And it truly is, I'm very I can look for a purple rock for her.
And that's her joke.
Okay. So the thing is like my shirt, oh, I already moved it, but the shirt that I had on today was purple and it had pineapples all over it, but I knew it'd blend into the wall so you wouldn't really be able to see me. I'd be like this. So that's actually funny that you say purple rock. Because the shirt I had on was purple. But but yeah, so I that's why I started the Pineapple Tribe because it's a certain kind of woman that is better better than the Pickle Gap Tribe.
He's from Arkansas and like near Skunk Holler and Pickle Gap and one other, like, so he's always teasing us, yet he's been all over the world filming people that we all know, and just and making fun about it. So what you're saying is that the pineapple piece of the whole tribe and the movement that you're creating, and I mean, you are like a branding queen, because as I was looking at everything, I'm like, oh my goodness, you have a huge, at least, following on Instagram. You got a lot of people that watch, or is it Instagram or Facebook, or one of the Facebook.
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. You've got thousands of people that are interested in following you. You may have 80 people that you've screened into this nucleus, but it takes people to get aware of who it is that you are, like when you started your blog, and that inspiration for that. And then your, like you said, superpower is the content and figuring out what people really want to do with their life, helping them to explore that. And in truth, that is such a
My
needed,
favorite color too.
and it's such a high vibration color. You talk about the fact that it can transcend so much, and in this day and age right now, where so many people are saying, what's next, so what's next for you, Brittany?
Well, I just wanted to point out the purple is the crown vibration. My tattoos are actually purple, like at the top because of that. So yeah.
I love
Um,
that. I love that. Thank you for picking, pointing that out. And, and I love this. If not now, when? If not now, when? And a lot of people are asking that question, aren't
yeah,
they?
for sure. And I just wanted to point out too, one of the things that I got to do recently within the group was I got to run a challenge for the women, and we did a 3-day challenge, post the comeback challenge within Tony Robbins. And I helped the women with identifying, their content and with their niches and with how to get seen online and that kind of stuff. And I mean, I have a course for it that is just being like that I'm just starting on how to do that. And I mean, it's one of those things that I mean, I can't just teach it in like it's a 6 to 8 week course. I can't just teach it in 3 days. But the women who showed up were absolutely amazing. And I actually gave away over $1,600 in prizes. I got to give away a ticket to UPW virtual that's coming up next week. I gave away one of the tickets to my course, and I also gave away VIP coaching. And so, I mean, it's one of those things that I just love to give back. And I told the women, like, I'm here for you. Like, I'm not just somebody who wants to just show up for to make money or, for myself. Like, I'm here for everybody else, and I just want to see everyone else succeed.
And I appreciate you sharing that, because the thing that I really wanted my buddies that are showing up to hear from you too is to understand that you've been there and you've done that. You've been in those, I mean, oh my goodness, to be in relationships where you were kidnapped, or all the things that took place, and then to survive brain cancer or a brain tumor and surgery, and have to learn how to overcome having something foreign still in there, and then being diagnosed where epilepsy, and you are dealing with that. Yet look at what you've done. You've graduated, you have a career, you're leading other women, you're helping them to get through things. We didn't even go into it, though. I know that there are many that have suffered through different addictions too,
Yeah.
and and have overcome those and said, okay, no more. I am going to go forward with my life. And that is what you are doing, and now you are helping so many more. You are truly an inspirational type of an individual. Look at the way that you are explaining this in such, a loving, clear, and concise way, where people can say, wow, if Brittany can do it, I can too.
Oh, 100%. Anybody can do it. And it's just that thing, I mean, so many of us have said it, but it really is that thing where purple's my favorite color, me too. Um, but it really is one of those things where, you know, get back, like fall down 7, you get up 8. And
Right.
when you can't run, you walk and you crawl. And um, it was, at that Tony Robbins event when I was like, had my legs in the air. It was at that event, my coach, he was just a friend at the time. We had just walked on fire, and he said, it'd be really fun, Brittany. Or I said to him, I said, it'd be really fun if we got a whole bunch of people and we all ran the New York Marathon next year. And, over 100 of us ended up going to New York and running the marathon. And I hate running. I hate running. And like with a passion. And we did it. And I mean, it's just because it's one of those things where you push your body to do more. And it was just one of those things where you can do it. You just have to tell yourself that, like, I'm not going to listen to the mind and the mess inside my head that tells me I can't.
Right.
And
and
so,
and and here, and in fact, I was reading one of your posts that talked about the running and everything, and here you have a shirt with a Canadian flag, and you were asked, I think, why New York? Why New York?
why New York? I don't even know what I said, but you know, New York was just one of those places where I always wanted to go. I don't even remember what I said on that post.
That's
Um,
okay. Don't even worry about it. The
it
main
was,
thing, it was inspirational.
it was just one of those things where New York is New York is just such a powerful place for so many people.
Hmm.
And it was that moment where we all decide, like, you just decide you're enough, and it's so busy there. And it was just it was so powerful when you're like when you're running through all the places and you get to see all the diversity of all the different kinds of people and the different like neighborhoods and just everything. It's just, you know, I remember going into the World Trade Center and just you know, listening to, I don't know if you've ever been, but just listening to they were like, you could hear the stories of people talking, and I just remember the tears falling down my face. And I remember it took me back to that moment when my ex and I split, and I was still in our house, and Tony Robbins was telling the story of when he was in when he ended up being at an event, and he was at the event the day that the World Trade Center went down, and there was
Right,
people,
right.
everybody had different opinions of it.
Yeah, yeah, they were
And
in Hawaii. Yeah, yeah.
mhm,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and there was that one woman who she had received that call of the guy of her partner who was in the World Trade Center.
Right.
And I remember at that time, 2 years ago, and I remember like hearing that story, and at the time I just remember tears coming down my face, and I remember looking at my ex and just saying to him like, that is so sad but so beautiful.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I said, if anybody can go through that, like, and to have that, you know, feeling about that, and going to the World Trade Center and feeling all those emotions, it's just to be there and experience it again. I got to go to a flash mob last time I was there. Like, it is like the city that never sleeps, and it is like there is so much experience there. You know, I got to stay in an Airbnb with somebody who like I had never met, and she was like the most fabulous girl. And you know, me, it's just like I love the adventure. I truly do.
I love that. I love that. And you know, this is just such a fun get together and show honoring you today. And I'm going to give you a moment in time right now. I'm going to take myself down from the line. I'm going to let you just give us a little thought, an inspirational thought or nugget, and then I'll bring myself back up and then we'll close out the show, okay?
Okay. I just want to say, if there is anybody out there who is struggling, who's wondering, can I do it? Will I ever be able to do it? Is thinking of quitting, or is at that point of maybe they want to quit, that you truly can just push back that little further. If you're at that moment of crawling and you want to stop, don't, because you can. If there's any women out there who are entrepreneurs, please join the Pineapple Tribe, because everybody will welcome you with open arms. It truly is a positive environment, and it's not there for I'm not saying that to advertise it. It's just a point of, you know, we love you, and it's for the confidence and the positivity. And I just want everybody, you know, out there, men, women, to know that anything is possible. You just have to not believe it, but you truly are enough. And it, you know, I said this earlier to uh, Tamara, but I said, you know, it's your birthright to, um, you know, live with purpose, but it is your choice to go out there and make your life your bitch. So,
See why I love her, guys? She's real. You are so real. You're so authentic. And yes, as Skip has said, I'm going to talk to you about. We're going to get. I'm going to just. We're going to. I just have lots of thoughts that we're going to have some really cool things going forward together. And you know, because when cool people meet each other and there's an alignment, and we can make this world such a better place in working together and making, you know, and raising that vibration together. And, you know, and Rachel saying, I'm one, and I rock every day to believe in me. I love it, Helene and Rachel. And yes, everybody that's been with us So as we close, I'm sad, but we got to, and we can always play again, have you back in and check and see how you're doing. So as we close today, the Service Hero Show, honoring Brittany on July the 10th, 2020, we are enjoying a beautiful Friday on 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success for service, the Service Hero Show. Yes, we have determined, Brittany. Yes, I was right. You are a service hero. You are doing so much for so many. Your pineapple tribe, I know, is just starting and it is going to take off. You have an energy and a light within you that just shines, and you being authentic and sharing what it is, your truth is, and how you've lived to this point, and how you have so much that you can offer others. Your superpower, your niche, your ability to help them to then help themselves. And even if we have to crawl, whatever we have to do, we can together make this world a better place. I am so honored to know you and to now call you truly a service hero. Thank you,
Thank
Brittany,
you.
for
Thank
all
you for
you do.
having me on.
You are so welcome. And everybody from the buddies, tonight is Friday TGIF. And yes, we have a couple of buddies coming on in our closed group. If you are not a part of it, come and be a part. It is for those that are feeling isolated and alone. We are easing the suffering of that isolation for those affected by cancer and others now that have been affected by the pandemic. And come to Facebook, Chemo Buddies for Life. Go to groups, go to the community, ask to join. Two things. It is a safe place. We do make sure of that. And what takes place there stays there. All right. See you at 5 o'clock for the chat Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Until then, make it a great afternoon. Bye, everyone.